own Seaside band. Thunderous applause through the interwebs. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to just get this beautiful service started. It is my honor to try to get us anchored in this morning. This is a song I wrote in the thick of COVID. But hope you enjoy. Hope this helps get you centered and anchored in. Who are you but the angel who brings the light of peace to all? You hold the power of love's devotion. It burns within you to heed the call. Who am I, brother and sister? The one who knows your gracious heart. I hold the power of love's devotion. It burns within me to play my part. Who are we but the children of the one God divine? We hold the power of love's devotion. It burns within us, spirit divine. Oh, 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 oh. We hold the power of love's devotion. It burns within us, spirit divine. Yeah.
Beautiful as ever. My goodness, that feels good. Great song.
Thank you so much.
Hey, good morning, Seaside. Woo, what a joy it is to be with all of you wherever you may be around the U.S. or the planet. We know that what we're doing here is touching more lives than we ever come to realize. That's pretty cool, huh?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, and you're getting out more, are you?
Little by little.
Yeah, you're out there singing, huh?
Busy weekend, had gigs starting to, I'm actually tired. I had a casino gig last night.
Yeah, my goodness.
Yeah, so it feels good to...
Things are beginning to move. Yeah. You're like my ears that are out there in the world and see what's actually going on. Yeah. You know, we hear so much, but the truth is you're singing again.
Yes.
In the world. That
little
is
by little.
Little by little.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
congratulations.
I'm grateful. Very
yeah.
grateful.
Well, we're grateful you've been singing all year for us.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm grateful too.
And you've been coming to Sunday mornings like refreshed.
Yeah. I try to keep it that way as much as possible.
Yeah, you do. Well, I remember you swinging in from the East Coast somewhere at like 6 a.m. just to make it here in time. Always appreciated that for sure.
Thank you.
So,
thank you.
Yes, thank you. Hey, we have a wonderful new practitioner today. Actually, a practitioner intern isn't actually graduating for a couple more months or being licensed until the summer. But Maggie Rentala is just a dynamic expression. You've seen her on the stage here at Seaside. She is one of our newest board members and brings that practitioner consciousness. And so this morning, she is going to cast that tone and that frequency that transcends time and space, unites us all together in that prayerful place. And so it is my joy to acknowledge, welcome Maggie for being here, to be here, and what a joy.
Thank you. It is my honor to be here to light the flame, to sound the bowl, to bring us together into the stillness, and to pray. I know that there is one life. That life is the power of peace. That life is the presence of love. That life is the divine spark of creation in all that is. And I call this life God. I know that this life is a good life and that this life flows in, through, and as me, and it is the soul that beats my heart in this body now. And I know that if this is true for me, and it is also true for all in all time. Now, who hear my words, who are here to hear the divine message that is coming to Dr. Christian. And this spark will be the flame that we carry into our beating hearts. We are God's good life now.
That is so good. I could just bask in that. Rebecca, you bring great spirit and soul and presence. I love that. Max, right there, backing her up. The two of you, what a team. And Maggie, thank you for your gift. Hey. And speaking of gift, it's your birthday. So, well, actually, it's not your birthday today on the 28th, but it's not your birthday tomorrow on March 1st either. Your birthday's the 29th. I don't know anybody else whose birthday's February 29th. That means you're not even 10 years old yet. So what a wonderful gift. Thank you for sharing and celebrating your special day with all of us. I appreciate that. So, and we all do. So they'd be applauding you if we were all in the same room, but thank you. Hey, take a look at the Seaside website, see what's going on, because there's always something going on, though we may not be doing it in person yet, though we are doing the 9 o'clock outside almost 6 months now, I guess, we've been doing that. So, also, next Sunday, after the second service, right, go to our Seaside link, seasidecenter.org, and there's going to be offered the first of every month, the basics of our philosophy, the basic beliefs of religious science. And Reverend Debbie is going to be leading that the first Sunday of every month. So it starts next Sunday at 12:30. So be aware of that if you've been wondering, hey, what are the basic ideas? Because we're thinking about doing a membership opportunity for people to join our community. We've gone a year without doing that because we haven't been together. But you know what? If we're doing this virtually, then you feel as if you're part of the community, we're going to give you that opportunity probably in April sometime. So that's been in the conversation. I also want to give a big shout out to the men's group who are raising funds to support those that are on the front line down at Scripps Memorial Hospital. They're raising funds to buy lunches for the doctors and the nurses and all those that work at Scripps on one day, and they've raised $700 towards that. So that's going on. We also house those that are in a transitional housing situation 1 week in the course of the winter, and our week's coming up, and we can't physically do that. So what we're doing is raising some funds to put those individuals or those families up in a room for the evening for over a period of a week and some food. So interested in supporting that, you can see that on our website as well. And also, the Seaside Sisters, Callie is leading a wonderful, just inspirational program. It's really about honoring the earth and being conscious of your purchasing aspects of things and the statements you're making with your actions in life. And so you can find more details about that. You just check out the Seaside Sisters flyer, and that starts, March 5th? International Women's Day. There you go. So it's a 6-week program. So there's a lot going on, as I said. So take advantage of it. Also, I want you to know we're touching lives. As I've shared, I get letters and cards and emails all the time. And I wanted to share a couple with you right here, since I've got this spot here today. And so I shared these this morning, and I thought I'd do it at our service. This one comes from Boston, Massachusetts. And once again, we're reaching more than just our North County of San Diego. This comes from Valerie, who said, "Thank you, Seaside, for continuing to keep us all connected during these times. I can feel the love. It's felt throughout the airwaves." So Valerie, thank you for that. This one comes from Jessica. She says, "Thank you, Reverend Christian, and all of Seaside for the love and the joy and the generosity of spirit that you share and that you give. It sure is a pleasure to be part of such a wonderful community." Here's one gentleman, Jeff. He was at our first service, a little poem he wrote. And he said, "This is for the whole crew of Seaside." It says, "I give thanks to a loving Seaside community that in the acts of your expression through this past challenging year, you have been courageous in keeping the flames of spirit alive and within and throughout beingness, so that when we may have been swept away by the tides of fear and despair, you have given us peaceful waters to right our sometimes weary ship, so that we may continue to sail upon the seas of our individual journeys with an awareness of our divinity." Thanks, Jeff. That's good. So keep sharing these. It helps to make me feel good. It helps us to keep doing what it is we're doing with inspiration, knowing we're making a difference. And I got to tell you, one who is making a difference with her continual connection of our Seaside Sisters is my beloved partner in life, Callie, who has got a reading for us today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, good morning to my beautiful Seaside family. What an honor it is and a joy to be here in virtual reality with you. So the reading that I've chosen today to go with Christian's message is one of my favorite stories, and it was actually printed in Wisdom of the Heart by Alan Cohen. When a woman in a certain African tribe knows she is pregnant, she goes into the wilderness with a few friends, and together they pray and they meditate until they hear the song of the child. They recognize that every soul has its own vibration that expresses its unique flavor and purpose. Then the women attune to that soul song, and then they sing it out loud together. Then they return to the tribe and they teach it to the rest of the clan. When the child is born, the community gathers and sings the child's song to him or her. Later, when the child enters education, the village gathers once again and chants the child's soul song. When the child passes through the initiation into adulthood, the people again come together and sing the song. At the time of marriage, the person hears his or her own individual soul song. And finally, when the soul is about to pass from this world, the family and friends gather at the person's bed, just as they did at birth, and they sing the person into the next life. In the African tribe, there is one other occasion upon which the villagers sing to the child. At any time during his or her life, if the person commits a crime or an aberrant social act, the individual is called to the center of the village, and the people in the community form a circle around them. Then they sing their song to them. The tribe recognizes that the correction for the antisocial behavior is not but a punishment, but it is love and the remembrance of that identity. When you recognize your soul song, you have no desire or need to do anything that would hurt another. A friend is someone who knows your soul song and sings it to you when you have forgotten it. Those who love you are not fooled by mistakes you have made in the dark images you hold about yourself. They remember your beauty when you feel ugly, your wholeness when you are broken, your innocence when you feel guilty, and your purpose when you are confused. You may not have grown up in the African tribe that sings some song to you at a crucial time of transitions, but life is always reminding you when you are in tune with yourself and when you are not. When you feel you're good and you are doing what you are doing matches your soul song, and when you feel awful, it doesn't. In the end, we shall all recognize our song and sing it well. You may feel a little wobbly at times, but so have all the great singers. Just keep singing, and you will find your way home.
Wow. Callie, that was beautiful. Find your soul song. All right, well, it is my honor on Sunday mornings to introduce our guest artist, and he is brand new to Seaside's family, but not brand new to my world because we've known each other for quite a while. We've known each other through Lamb's Players Theater and, Grossmont College, and he's also just the music scene around town, and he's just an incredible person. We just laugh all the time whenever we're just sitting around and talking. It's just good vibes. He's just a wonderful person, incredibly talented. Once, prior to COVID, he was gigging, and he's in. There's two bands you should follow. One's called The Routine. The other one's called Steam Powered Giraffe. So please follow those pages, and as soon as COVID is, all that stuff is over, check out those bands. They're incredible. Give it up, Seaside. Welcome to Brian Barbarin.
My mask. Happy to be here, y'all. Unreroute the rivers, let the damn water be. There's some people down the way that's thirsty, so let the liquid spirit free. The people are thirsty cause a man's a natural hell. Watch what happens when the people catch wind, when the water hits the bank in the hard, dry land. Clap your hands, y'all. Clap your hands, y'all. Clap your hands, y'all. Go ahead, clap your hands, y'all. Ready for the wave, might come like a final flood. The people have been drinking so long, the water won't even make mud. After it strikes, might come with a steady flow. Grab the roots of the river, down by the tree, fill your cup when it's very slow. Clap your hands down, clap your hands down. Go ahead, clap your hands down. Clap your hands down. Get down and take a drink. that's thirsty, so let the liquid spirit free. The people are thirsty because a man's a natural hand. Now watch what happens when the people catch wind, when the water hits the bank of the hard, dry land. Clap your hands down. Clap your hands down. Go ahead and clap your hands down. Get down and take a drink and fill your water tank. Get down and take a drink and fill your water tank. Liquid spirit. Oh, liquid spirit. Oh, liquid spirit. Oh, liquid spirit, y'all. Get down and take a drink and fill your water tank. Get down and take a drink and fill your water tank. Get down and take a drink and fill your water tank. Get down and take a drink and fill your water tank.
Woo! Brian, man, that is good stuff. I want to drink more of that spirit in, man. That is, I just love that soulful sound on this stage. So perfect for this morning's message about your soul story. And you just nailed it. Nice job, man. The crowd's going wild. Can you feel it? It's just, it's shaking those airwaves out there. Man, it's just so fun, so fun. So thank you, and Callie, thank you for your soul song story. I mean, the soul is the essence of our being. The soul is not the body. The soul is what animates the body. The soul has been referred to since Aristotle and Plato and Socrates. Thomas Aquinas wrote about it over 400 times. I mean, there is something that is who we are, that carries on before we got here and after we leave here. It is that which moves through this world. And so our soul story is what drinks in of that water of life, of that spirit. Our soul song is known before we arrive, and those that are in tune can feel it and sense it, and they sing it for us to help remember. Our soul story begins to be a greater revelation when we take time to pay attention to it and to listen to it. Your soul carries the memory of your journey through that which is beyond time and space. It can't take the things with it, but what it does take are the soul lessons. And we come into this world with a purpose, a dharma, a passion, something that is calling us to be more of what we are, as well as opportunities for our soul to learn and to grow. We have these soul agreements. Our soul has been coded with that which is ours to do. Follow me? It's an awareness. It's more than the body. Now, God, I get, blesses us. You know, they've been graced by God, got the blessings of God. You know, that's really easy to get and to be grateful for. But what about when you got the challenges in your life? You know, what about when you've got this boulder in the road or this challenge in your life? Can you possibly believe that God has its hand as much in that experience as when you have been blessed and graced and you know it right off? I would hope so, because your story is filled with intrigue. It is filled with adventure. It is filled with epic battles. It is filled with enemies. It is filled with villains. It is filled with angels and saints. Your soul story has all that going on, and I want us to get it's all God. The Spirit is infinite, which means it is in and through all those things. You know, one of the classic stories, I shared it this week on my noonday meditation, and I trust you're tuning in at noon, you know, Facebook Live, 10 minutes at noon. I stop, and one of the things I was talking about this week was about David and Goliath. And without Goliath, David would have just probably have remained a shepherd boy. Though God may have blessed, or touched or talked to King Saul and said, hey, I want you to do something with this lovely kid, make him king. I don't know if it would have gone over so big, but because of Goliath, it promoted him. It raised him. It established him. It gave him that something he needed in order to be a king. And what became a roadblock was really an opportunity for God to show up. It's an opportunity for God to show up in a greater way. And when you can begin to recognize the challenges in your life aren't meant to stop you, but they are meant to establish you, to promote you, to help develop your soul so you can bring forth your passion, your dharma, your gift in a way that otherwise it would not have come forth. Follow what I'm saying? I mean, we go to Jesus' story. That's a pretty familiar one we're gearing up for next month. And here's this guy, pretty well blessed, but it came down to his, one of his final dinners. And, it was time for Judas to step up and do this betrayal thing for him. And, that's looking like big-time enemy. We have had individuals in our life that has been the Judases who possibly, I don't know, maybe you haven't, that have betrayed us, that have let us down. But you know what? Jesus' story would not have been complete had he not had that Judas in his life, willing to be courageous enough to step in and to do his part in that unfolding story. Because Jesus probably could have said, God, man, I don't know if I can go through with this. This crucifixion thing, that's pretty nasty stuff. I don't know. But what he did know is that part of that story was the betrayal is what was essential. He knew it going into it. At the last dinner, he was breaking bread and said, one who eats this bread tonight is going to betray me. And then he gives it to Judas and says, get up, get going, quick, go do your part. We have these Goliaths in our life, these Judas moments in our life. And they are part of our soul story. They're not an alien part of something that didn't help us develop into what we are to be. Our soul story carries the full spectrum. And it is all God. And it is all spirit. What challenging moments have you had in your life that called you to develop a little finer part of your soul expression? There's one of many stories in America, but one of the iconic Americana stories, if you would, came in the early 1900s when cotton was king. That was the crop. That was the money crop. And it was going well until this little bug came up across the border, and the boll weevil began to eat all the cotton. It destroyed the cotton crop. All the farmers could do was sit back and literally watch their crop be eaten. And so they started pouring poisons on the field. They started poisoning. They came up with a whole new levels of insecticide to kill these little boll weevils, and it didn't work. They just kept eating away, and there was nothing they could do until someone came up with this idea. Well, let's plant something different, like peanuts. Peanuts. And Maggie was sharing with me that the peanuts came up from Africa, in this wonderful Black History Month, to recognize one of the gifts is a crop that saved the farmland. That all of a sudden, some of the people said, hey, let's go ahead and plant peanuts. And the other guys who are purists saying, oh, how can you plant peanuts? How dare you? Shaming them right away. You're giving up on cotton. And they went ahead and they planted peanuts. And all of a sudden, they found within a couple months, they were producing more peanuts and having more revenue and prosperity in a few months than it took all year with cotton. All of a sudden, that peanut crop took over, and the boll weevil was eliminated. And when it was gone, many of the farmers decided to stick with the peanut farming as opposed to going back to the cotton crop. See, this is part of the soul story of America, that we are able to face the challenges that come our way, but the individuals that say, hey, let's not get caught up in this drama. Let's know that there's an answer here. Well, how dare you think outside the box? And all of a sudden the guilt and the shame that comes with it. But you know what? That is part of the soul story. Yes, we're going to have the epic battles. Yes, we're going to have the challenges. And what that does is it helps us develop a greater aspect of our being, to bring forth our soul so we can be seen in a little greater way. And what those crucial moments do to many people is it creates a sense of doubt. I know I can't continue in this way, but I don't know what to do. One of the things that I find people enjoy in life, that I hear these stories all the time, is that when they are looking at one of those crucial moments in time and they overcome the challenge, there's such a sense of elation, there's such a sense of excitement. When people are living their Dharma story or their soul purpose, and there's a mountain to climb and there is a challenge to put the business together, or the proposal together, to find the investors, or take the creativity to the market, or whatever it is, the joy, the elation, the cheer that I hear by individuals when they find something inside of them that is greater than what it is they had to overcome as they are living their soul purpose, their dharmic path, facing the challenges and overcoming it. There is a sense of joy that makes that effort that they put in almost effortless. The effortlessness becomes a joy. It becomes a rhythm. It becomes unbounded, because there is now a release inside the soul that has allowed it to come to expression more than ever before. And there's others who don't. And one of those classic stories comes from the Bhagavad Gita, where the story of Arjuna pretty much starts. At the beginning is he's stuck in his doubt. I mean, here's this warrior who's been a good warrior, has lived his warrior dharma, he's been purpose, he's been doing his thing, he's been good. And something has crushed his spirit, his soul. And he is doubting himself. And he has gotten to that place where he doesn't know what to do. And onto the scene comes this good-looking charioteer, who we know as Krishna, who becomes his mentor, his teacher, his spiritual inspiration, his as a psychoanalyst, if you would. He became everything to him. And what we know about Krishna is God incarnated. Krishna is that divine presence that is expressing itself, that has come to assist Arjuna to the place of a greater realization of his soul expression. But in the meantime, at the beginning, he is stuck. And Stephen Cope, who wrote this book called The Great Work of Your Soul, Kathy Hearn did a class here at Seaside about that, shares a story of a woman that he had worked with by the name of Catherine. And Catherine had been the dean of a private girls' school, for decades. She had such admiration and love from generations of students and parents and mothers and daughters, that she was the inspiration. She helped create direction and plan, raise funds for new buildings. She was considered a success, a beloved part of the faculties and who she had befriended. As she was in the center of her purpose, her soul purpose, and what she was doing, she was in her jam, as I like to say. And but after a while, joy began to wane. She began to realize that it was not quite the spark. It was not quite the joy. She knew there was something next in her life, but she couldn't let go of what she had been doing, because where would she go? She didn't know what was next, what was beyond this present spot. She thought that she left, that she would just be in the educational oblivion, North 40, forgotten and lonely. So maybe she'll just stick it out a few more years to build her retirement plan, is what Stephen Cope says. And I want to share with you something about this that he wrote in his book, The Great Work of Your Life, in regards to Catherine's position. He said, "There's many ways to be quietly paralyzed by doubt. We might call Catherine's version fear of closing the door. And I've seen this version quite frequently. I mean, someone has had a profound taste of living their dharma, maybe even for decades. But now that particular dharma is used up. It's lived out. And you can smell it. The person knows that a certain dharma moment, it's over. But has only the vaguest sense of what might be next. And it increasingly begins to dawn on her that in order to find the next expression of dharma, that she's going to have to take that leap of some kind. That she knows that she's going to have to close the door behind her before she's going to find the next door to open. And gradually, she comes to the edge of the cliff where she knows a leap of faith will be required. This is where she sets down her folding chair. Will she ever get up? Would you? Or would you remain, as Cope talks about, living a lie? No one, your great work has completed. There's something else that's up, that's next. What Arjuna told Krishna, as he set his folding chair right in the center of the intersection, I'm not going to get up. I'm going to stay here until I know something. And Arjuna says this, and Krishna just laughs and points out that he's heard this many times, no movement until I know what's next. But you know what? Inaction is full of action. Your inaction is action. Henry David Thoreau told us, wealth is the ability to experience life fully. That's what wealth is. Your soul, you want it to feel the wealth that transcends the physical. It is about being in your passion. It is about being in life. And recognize that you may have had a blessed path to this point, but you know what? I'm now sitting in the folding chair at the intersection. My soul story, is it going to end here, or is there going to be another door for me to step through? You're not going to know until you get up out of that folding chair and listen to a call. You catch a whiff, a smell of something, but you don't quite know what it is. But until you can let go, you're not going to know. Maybe teased. Yeah. From the Gnostic Gospels, this one's according to Thomas. He said, bring forth what is within you, and what is within you will save you. Don't bring forth what is within you. What is within you will destroy you. Drive you crazy. Man, I'm not doing what's next for me to do in life. You get to decide. But what I want you to get and understand and know, that what is next for your soul's story is the evolution. You come up against your Goliath, or the boll weevil, or your Judas. You call it what you want. The breakdown is a setup for God to show up in your life. And when you know that, it's in your life, so you got to look inside yourself. But what happens too often is people go looking outside. Where's the answer? Well, maybe I can make this person do this, or they can tell me that over there. Let us remember that the answer lies within inside our own consciousness. It is our soul that is coded. The soul's code knows what it is ours to do in life. And when we face the challenge and the difficulty, it is ours to know inside our being that it's all God. Goliath's God, as much as David is God. There is no spot God is not. And so as I choose to turn within to the consciousness of my own being and tap that kingdom inside, to know that peace that knows, I've got to recognize that it is that Spirit's not going to forsake me. God is not going to abandon me, is going to be with me always, because I am that which is expressing in this world. And that if I cannot find the peace of the kingdom of heaven within my own consciousness, then what I need to do, listen, try again. And if you've tried 2 or 3 times, you know what you need to do? Try again. Because the answer lies within you. The analogy, the wave is the ocean, but it's not all the ocean, but all the ocean is in that wave. Your spirit, you're not all the spirit, but all that you are is spirit that is expressing. Without you, your spirit's unformed. And so what I know is whatever's going on in the world is part of the totality of what God is. God is infinite. It's not limited. God is not caught up with this is a big thing to heal, Christian. Oh boy, this one you're asking for, I don't know. How are you going to pay off a building? Or how we're going to eradicate a virus? Or how we're going to save the planet? There is no large or small within the mind that knows all, that is all. And what I have to do is recognize it. I don't make it happen. What I've got to do is recognize it and realize it. Ernest Holmes, as we know, is the founder of religious science. And by now, you at home are probably bringing your Science of Mind textbook. So when I give you the page and the paragraph, you can follow along with me, right? So here it is, page 311, paragraph 4. We do not deny the physical universe when we're seeking to explain it. Physical form is real. And if it were not for form, God or intelligence would not be expressed. Right here, the students are puzzled. When we say that God does know form, but not size. As Emerson told us, there is no great and no small to the soul that maketh all. And whence it cometh all things are, and it cometh everywhere. I don't know about that verbiage, but go for it, Emerson. So, as far as the law is concerned, it does not know anything about big and small. Someone will at once say, well, if God knows anything, God knows big and little. God cannot know anything which is contradictory to its divine being. Yeah? So it's impossible for the infinite to know that which is finite. Does that make sense? The infinite can't know finite. It doesn't know large or small. It is everything. You're its outlet. Ernest said, without you, the infinite wouldn't be expressed. I mean, that's pretty impressive stuff. See, that's part of your soul story. So all of a sudden, I'm facing my Goliath. I'm being attacked by these boll weevils. I've given all that I got. But there's more. You are more than that. I've always liked the analogy of Niagara Falls. You know, I look at Niagara Falls, all that water pouring out of Niagara Falls. I look at that, I think that thing's got to run out. How much of that water can keep pouring out of there before it's gone? But you know what? What I call Niagara Falls is not really Niagara Falls. It is Lake Erie. And Niagara Falls is the point where Lake Erie pours over the precipice. Lake Erie is enormous. It cannot run out of water. It is sourced probably from the North Pole and glaciers and ice. And, Lake Erie's never going to empty no matter how much it pours over Niagara Falls. Well, you're like Niagara Falls. You're that point. And what you have behind you is Lake Erie. What your soul has is the infinite. It has the ocean behind it. And you are that Niagara Falls. You are that wave. You are that point. This is your soul story. And you get to decide what you're going to do with this soul story. Where is it you're going to put your attention? Because you have the power to deal with the epic battles, the betrayals. You don't need to give your power away. And when you are challenged, you turn within. Honoring Black History Month, and it's last day, February. Harriet Tubman, one of my inspirational superheroes. Her story is phenomenal. We did a big talk last year on her on a movie that depicted her biography. And she said, always remember, within you is the strength, is the passion, and is the patience to reach the stars and to change the world. That's big. Within you is the strength, is the patience, and the passion to reach the stars and change the world. That, count me in. That's my soul story. That's what I'm working on bringing forth right here. That's my dharmic call, if you would. But Christian, I've spent it all. Thomas Edison said, when you think you have exhausted every possibility, remember, you have not. You haven't. Your limited mind may have, but you got Lake Erie behind you. You got the ocean that is seeking to express through you. Without you, it's undifferentiated. You are the delineation of the infinite through your mold making with consciousness. And your life is the depiction of your soul story out in front of you so you can see what is going on and you get to put the meaning and the significance to it. And I got people say, but Christian, I'm on that folding chair in the midst of this intersection. I doubt. I don't have the faith in God any longer. I'm doubting that there is an answer to this bull weevil crisis or this virus crisis or whatever chair I'm sitting on, living in my doubt and substantiating my fear with whatever it is. But you know what? You want to move beyond that. Get your soul excited. Get your passion going. Get your life on fire once again. You know, Oprah Winfrey, she said that do that. What you want to do is to focus on that which excites you. You know, you want to improve your life and your world? Focus on that which excites your soul, excites your spirit, that gets you up and moving and going. And all of a sudden, life responds to that. There is something inside of you, but what you've got to do is recognize it. That's all you're being asked. You're not being asked to create it. You're being asked to recognize that something. You bring that power forth. You become the healer within your world. The Course in Miracles says healing is those who alleviate the fear. You know, healing is removing the fear. Course in Miracles, you know, it's like a very simple approach. I've heard people say, that doctors, they treat the body, and healers treat the soul. Now, that's not to say doctors don't do both. I mean, by all means, you got doctors who are just totally connecting with the soul. But what we do know is the doctors can put the body back together like a mechanic, you know. But unless the soul, that which causes the disturbance in the body or the disturbance in our world of affair, changes, it's going to reestablish itself. It is going to show up with a worsening condition or a different condition, but it is going to be a pattern that is trying to catch your attention and say, hey, your soul story here is moving you in a direction that's not very affirmative. You know, we got this cancer out of there, but unless you get rid of that bitterness, I can't guarantee it's going to stay away. You know? It's when you choose to be with somebody and touch their soul and their heart and be available and listen and to share their song, as Callie was talking about, the song that they can remember their wholeness and their truth of being, that they can overcome their challenge, their difficulties in life, that they can remember that, hey, I got Lake Erie, I got an ocean behind me. You know, Judas isn't going to stop me. It's going to promote me. It's going to establish me. It's going to help bring forth that something inside me. I'm going to put in the effort until it becomes effortless, and I am with the dance and the groove and the joy and unbounded. I am living the gift that I am, finding myself gaining mastery because I am lifted to the next level and the next level of needing to do that which my soul has come here to do. This world is my curriculum. It's not my problem. It is not my enemy. It is God's blessing. And as I take a look at my soul story, I begin to gain the morals and understanding and realize it's soul-to-soul work that we're doing. All of us are healers who can bring love and alleviate fear. You don't need to prescribe prescriptions or do vaccines or lay on hands. You've got to be present with your heart, with your soul, with your love. And healing happens. See, part of the soul's journey is to be that which you came here to be, to share that and to hear the story and the song of others and help remind them when they're not singing that. You know, it's not just about fixing a body, it's a vehicle, you know, and I got to tell you, it's an amazing instrument we have been given to house our soul as we tootle around this planet Earth. And the doctors have a wonderful gift. But don't let the mechanics treat us like a piece of machinery where you're on an assembly line, It's about connecting at the soul level. That healing happens at the soul level that reflects in our world. And I got to tell you, when people are stuck in the midst of the intersection, sitting on their chair, being paralyzed by doubt, what I hear time and time again, they just want to go home. They want to be home with their true self. They want to be home with who they truly are in this world of traffic and confusion and Judases and Goliaths and bull weevils. You know, I just want to be home to my true self in the midst of this. And I like saying, so where you been? But I know I've been there. been in confusion, been in paralyzed by doubt, caught in a sense of not knowing and a lack of faith in that Lake Erie or that ocean that is seeking to move through the magnificent Niagara Falls, the huge expression of your being. But that's where the awakened soul comes into play. As your soul awakens, it remembers its song. It remembers its story. It remembers its soul lessons and brings it all to bear to the present moment. And there's nothing more than we could ask of you then. God bless you. I love you. Hey, Brian, you got another one for us? All right.
On a hard line, two halves of the same vine, too dark to define light, two paths, two roads, and your own. You can lead down your own to find home. Someone they once told me all of my whole being, all that surrounds me is good but brittle when you're alone. So don't leave them alone. It's not their fault. And if it feels right, taking a new light and breathe. And if it feels right, taking a new light and breathe. Ooh.
Nice, Brian. Oh my goodness. Breathe. Man, talk about soul songs. That is just beautiful. You know, I think you wrote that song, didn't you? Nice job. That is just, could meditate to that. That'd be a good journey for sure. Hey, this time of our service where we have the opportunity to share a gift, share our love, our offering. As you give, it comes back, but it's not why you give. You give because it's an extension of your consciousness. It's an extension of your soul supporting that which you find valuable in your life, in your world. It is an expression in the realm of form that honors the energetic expression of that which you care about. You become the activity of God's abundance in your life, supporting that God expression. And so as you give, it comes back. That's just how that works. And so I invite you to listen to your heart and feel how you have been touched by Spirit this day, this year, by a community that's continued to be here for you. You hear the letters that are coming in, the prayer requests are just being fulfilled. It's a beautiful story that's going on. So let us say together, and grab the offerings here that people have mailed in thus far this week, and let's say together our affirmation of abundance. So together, let me, that's not up on the screen. So I've got one in here that I leave just for moments like this. So let us say together our affirmation of abundance. Hopefully you've got it at home, but I don't know. It says, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Those are the guys from Seaside. Now there's soul for you. Bob blowing that horn for 3 decades now for Seaside. We love that. Harley right there on that bass, man. I got a note this week from someone. They said they love the old-fashioned jazz sound group up there. So that's good. There you got Paul just playing those skins week after week. We love you behind that screen. And there is Max playing that Paul Ward, Lorner Busendorfer. Beautiful sounds. And speaking of beautiful sounds, Brian, I'm glad you found your way home. We have been waiting for you. Don't let this guy get away. I'd like to hear him again. And Rebecca, bless you for finding the gifts of our wonderful community and town and being one of those shining gifts. I'm just so proud of you. And happy to hear you're singing around town again. That's good to know. Our economy and our world is back in motion. And that's good. Hey, giving us sound today is Ed. Thank you very much. And helping him out on sound and visuals and setup is Stephen Grant right there. Love you. And in the editing room, taking the shots from the different cameras is Tom Scholler this morning. So Tom, we love you. We thank you. And behind the cameras, we got Timothy Griffin and Edwin Robinson. So great job, guys. And Maggie, happy birthday. Thank you for sharing your day with us. And Callie, always a joy to have you share a reading that comes from your heart and your soul. And I know March 5th, International Women's 8th. Oh, so that's a week from Monday. Oh, so I won't even tell them about your Living in Harmony class that they could sign up for. But check it out anyway. You go to the website. You can see other things that are there too, like the basic beliefs next Sunday. That's on the 7th, which comes before the 8th and Callie's Seaside Sisters thing. So anyway, got a lot of good going on around Seaside. We are alive. It's dynamic. We're growing. We're breaking out of the container, if you would, of the old state of being. We are stretching towards the sun and letting our beauty come forth for all the world to see. And Seaside is alive. thanks to you. I know you're there. I hear from you. I feel your love and your support. And the way you share this, we can see more and more people watch the live streaming on Sundays. More watch the live noonday meditations. The prayer requests continue to come in. And the practitioners are available right after the service. Just go to our website, click on the Zoom room, and you'll have a private room with a personal practitioner who knows about listening with the soul. You don't just become another one in the assembly line, but rather you become aware that you're sitting in the presence of God who's singing your song so you can remember the truth of your being. Healing happens. It's the way it works. You don't have to tell God what to do. What we've got to do is hear our song. Recognize the spirit that is there. So feel it, sense it as the music plays, the heart opens. There's something that is moving and grooving in this moment, and it is the divine stir in our soul, expanding our field of awareness. Our soul is jumping with joy, for it is being acknowledged and seen in this moment in a manner it has not for some time. It has been put under cover of the doubts and the fears, and all of a sudden in this activation and remembrance with a faith and a deep knowingness of the power of the infinite, the soul is set free. And with that, we find the power of focusing and listening to that which excites our being. It's God. It is the life essence itself. It is that from which we have been created. It is joy. It is unfolding delight. We let go of the sense of repetitive problems showing up and begin to step into the joyous sequence of delight that is exciting our being. Something good's going on. Open to that expression of the infinite manifesting in our world in ways that are relevant. I stand here in joyous delight in the revelation of God's abundant good that is truly inexhaustible. And if Niagara Falls isn't going to run out, and what's behind is powerful. Our good is not going to run out. We may have sat down in the crossroads of doubt, of fear, collective programming. But we step free of the mesmeric trance and remember that soul that has been activated because it has heard its tune. There's a remembering that is going on of the magnificence of our being. And as we bring this gift, we bring the love. We alleviate the fear of others that are around us, and healing goes on because there is a soul-to-soul connection. There's an understanding. There is a compassion. And in this shift, the body realigns itself. I don't need to tell God to get rid of this growth or to heal this break or return it to perfect balance or weight. Spirit knows. And so I get my littleness out of the way and I become in sync with the divine reverberation. And my being's countenance shines with the life and the abundance of God. For abundance and prosperity is the natural state of being as we walk this world of form that reflects our consciousness, and we lift our head up out of the fear, the constraints, the limitations, and begin, as Harriet Tubman told us, to reach for the stars, that we have within us a strength, a patience, and a passion that will change the world, starting with the self. So it's in this change, I know anything that is necessary to facilitate it is ready to be called into action. It is activated in this moment. There is a replenishing, a regeneration, a reaffirming that God is good as your life, that the relationships are wonderful opportunities to practice the honesty, the intimacy, the truth. And if you have been stuck living in the North 40 of some old dharmic place, the relationship is a beautiful place to speak it into expression. For the presence of God is alive and inviting all that you are forward. It is done with blessings and it's done with Goliaths. But it's all God. And so my soul story evaluates things in the appropriate way and files them to enrich, uplift, empower, enliven, revitalize, animate this soul expression. Excited to be that. I say thank you. And know that I bring an uplifting contribution of love. I don't instigate more fear, but rather I lift the planet with vision and possibilities and light and delight, and add to the collective emerging consciousness of this spring, of this blossoming, of a greater state of being at the personal level as well as the collective level. I'm willing to stand as that example, to get up out of that folding chair at the crossroads of inaction and take the action to be a moving conduit for the expression of God that blesses all around. I say thank you for this awareness. I say thank you for the prayer requests that have been brought forth to our community that give us the opportunity to sing the song of the soul of those that have reached out. Song of their true expression, their Krishna, their Christ expression, their God expression. Hold in particular, Reverend Bob Bach, who's got some physical difficulties impeding his ability for mobility and comfort, that his body reactivates the innate blueprint of wholeness and healing happens for him. For anyone who's reached out to Seaside in consciousness or ridden, God is there. Healing is so, wholeness is revealed. I'm grateful to see it, to know it, to proclaim it, and that Seaside continues to grow, to expand, because it continues to be a loving, contributing, empowering, difference maker of joyous, delightful expression. I let go to this, I trust it, and believe that it is the truth because it is. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you have to say: I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. So I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Wherever you are, sing it with us. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yeah.
right. Thank you, Rebecca. Hey, our affirmation for the week is, my soul remembers its story. Let's say that together. My soul remembers its story. Touch your heart and say it again. My soul remembers its story. Take a breath and feel it deeply and say it one more time. My soul remembers my story. See you next week. I love you.